everyone who were gathered here. On this auspicious event, I would like to welcome you all to the 3-day International Lecture Workshop on Academic Writing, Research Skills and Publication, jointly organized by Lavender Literature Club India, Platform Interest India, and Malaysian Industrial Relations and Human Resource Association Malaysia. Today we have two speakers, Dr. V. Saravanan, Assistant Professor Senior, Department of English, School of Social Science and Language, Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore, Tamil Nadu. Second speaker, Dr. Samir Gulsar, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence, SR University, Warangal, Telangana. Let's start off with the first resource person, Dr. V. Saravanan, Assistant Professor Senior in the Department of English, School of Science, Social Science and Language at Vellore Institute of Technology. He did his Masters and MPhil Presidency College, Chennai, and got PhD from Anna University in English Language Teaching. He has 19 years of teaching experience and has presented a number of papers in national and international conferences, and also published a number of papers in national, international and corpus in these journals. He has conducted faculty development programs and workshops. Along with that, he worked as a placement officer and has conducted placement training programs at various engineering colleges. He is the founder and coordinator of World English Language Learners, Teachers and Trainers Association. It's our immense pleasure to invite Dr. V. Saravanan to this platform. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Afia Raj ma'am, and it's indeed my proud privilege and I feel humbled and honored by this opportunity. And thank you all for this making this event and again joining me on this virtual platform. It is indeed my exciting moment, I would say. And today we are going to discuss about this academic writing. What is academics first, and how it is different from business writing. Let us make this event very interactive. And I would also would like to know how many minutes I am given to speak. Is there any time limit, please? No, the coordinators. How long I can go? You tell me so that I will stop exactly.
Saron,
Yeah.
good evening, Saron, sir. You can speak for nearly 1 hour.
Okay, fine. So up to 7 o'clock, can I go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Joyson, sir. Thank you. And okay, here we go. And what is exactly writing first? And before you open up, and I would like to know quote our Francis Bacon, father of English essay, and reading maketh a full man. He says, Bacon says, reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, writing an exact man. Whatever we study and whatever we would like to study, otherwise whatever is written and existing there as knowledge, you find that it's all said and done, and actually it has been recorded by others. When the other people record, it is becoming a kind of autobiography kind of thing about a person. Otherwise somebody on his own he writes, then it becomes that is biography. Somebody else writes for somebody, that one becomes biography. Like Mahatma Gandhiji's autobiography, you find that the story of my experiment with truth, that you will find that. And again we have Tendulkar's biography, then again Dhoni's autobiography, and again anything and everything. Otherwise you take for example materials, and again this let's say textbooks and novels, short stories, and you take any stuff, whatever is available, different, whether it is medicine, science, in the field of science, academic, whether it is something like law or management or literature, even math, science, physics, whatsoever may be the subject specialization, you find whatever stacked in the form of books or materials or guides, notes, or reports, the journals and publication, you find that is something like it becomes exactly as Francis Bacon said. Anybody who wants to grow, otherwise exercise their brain, will have to read. Without reading, this though reading is considered to be the passive skill, and without reading one cannot write anything. So reading, that's why Bacon says reading maketh a full man. If you want to become very much enriched. Otherwise, no, you want to become knowledgeable. And for that, no, what is knowledge? Otherwise, what is knowledge? People say information is knowledge. We are living in the world of information technology. And again, gone are the days browsing, thumbing through the books, and again, no, and going to the library. These are all no old style of doing things. But now, thanks to this smartphone, and the whole credit goes to Steve Jobs, who made this smartphone reality. And the team of 20 people refuted, otherwise, no, they refused, otherwise, no, they were terribly against the idea of this smartphone of envisioned by this Steve Jobs. Originally, they said, no, no, it is not possible, and we can't do that like that, and all. No, people started um, uh, offering difference of opinion to Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs could see and envision whatever it was there in his mind, and he made it happen. And within 6 months, it became a reality. That is what you and me, everybody, everyone is um, acquainted with. And again, we are using this smartphones. It is part and parcel of this part and parcel of our life. In on smartphone, we write. It's not no now no more paper and pen, no more chalk and talk method on board. Now we have got smart classrooms, not conventional classroom. No more writing on blackboard or whiteboard with the marker, otherwise a chalk piece. And then again, no more people start no what is that writing it on paper and pen. Everybody, including teachers, now you see the tremendous amount of transition from writing on the board, and again, writing on paper and pen. And most of the teachers, I would strongly say, I would definitely say that this writing habit has almost influenced by the technology. That's what technology is ruling the rose. You find this writing habit has again dwindled, I would say. That is the thing. And when we give assignments also, you find people are not using no this paper and pen method, which means whether they type it or they do they want to know do go for this computer on computer, otherwise desktop, otherwise PC, even on mobiles they would like to type and send it. So such is the thing. The power of writing is phenomenal, I would say. Everybody, that's what rightly Francis Bacon says, that no, first if you want to be brimful, you want to, if you're full man, if you want to become full man or a woman, let's say, let us not be male chauvinistic in saying, if anybody who would like to be a full person, which means knowledgeable person, one has to read, irrespective of this caste, creed, community, otherwise gender. I would say strongly, one has to read a lot. After reading, what happens? We acquire tremendous amount of let's say very good number of vocabulary. Then again, we have phrases, clauses, sentence construction, everything matters. So slowly and gradually, you will find that no, even I would say strongly, pronunciation also can be improved upon by reading. So that's why Francis Bacon says, reading maketh a full man. Conference means speaking. Again, let's say it's a conference means it's a two-way, and again, it's not one way. In those days, it was not considered like communication skills. It was told as conference. So conference is the sense somebody is speaking, again you will find the other end also. It's a two-way. So somebody should speak, somebody should listen. It is a win-win situation. So please remember this thing, conference ready man, which means somebody who speaks, he is supposed to be ready with the knowledge, information. Without information, otherwise, without gathering the data, people cannot speak. Otherwise, people cannot make sense. Otherwise, sensible talk can be done only by, let's say, by brimful, by becoming brimful with knowledge and information, whether it is science, technology, mathematics, or otherwise, you say any walks of life, any knowledge acquisition, definitely people will have to read. That's why we find that our the best of the best top notch companies, multinational companies, CFOs, CEOs, and again the founders, they read. Especially when it comes to Warren Buffett, people say every day, in a given day, every given day, Warren Buffett reads 500 to 800 pages a day. And that means, that is why no wonder he has become the super duper rich. And again, same goes with Jeff Bezos, same goes with Elon Musk, same goes with any technological conglomerate, and otherwise anybody who, that's why beautifully people say, whoever reads, today's reader, tomorrow's leader. So please know, please think this way. And obviously one has to read a lot, because those who read a lot will get acquainted with the various forms of writing, especially whether it is business writing, like writing a note, memo, letter, email. And again, let's say for example, whether it is no journal writing, all these things, I would say, it is definitely is possible, provided we get acquainted ourselves with so much of writing, and so much of writing stuff which have been done by various people across the spectrum. So first thing is we need to read. Second thing is those who want to speak exactly will have to listen a lot. This is how the first language is acquired. Otherwise, any new knowledge it can be otherwise could be acquired by proper listening. And we need to have a tremendous amount of time and space for listening. Then the more we listen, the better we can speak. So these are the two passive skills: reading and listening. The more we read, the more we acquire vocabulary. The more we listen, we are same way we acquire vocabulary, pronunciation, and again grammar and whatnot. You name anything and everything can be achieved through listening and reading. So these two skills are very very important. And by default, people will have to focus more on these two things, because reading is an exercise to the brain. One must read in order to write well, whether it is business writing or academic writing. We need to remember this thing. And please do remember that reading, again, Francis Bacon's quote, reading maketh a full man. What to read? If you ask again, Bacon says some books are to be tasted, some books are to be chewed, some books are to be digested, which means you take any different genre, for that matter, any genre of your choice, that has to be see, you need to be extremely choosy about what you are reading, when you are reading, how you are reading, and why you are reading. Otherwise, people say no, art is long, life is short. And all the biggest of the biggest people, they very much say life is too short to wait, which means we need to experiment. Whatever the knowledge we have acquired, we need to put into action all the knowledge we have acquired, and we need to put into action and see the result. And by, thereby again, results are wrong. Otherwise, that is no, there is nothing called failure. It is something like a feedback only. There is no failure in life. So it's all feedback, feedback, feedback. So we need to remember, we need to otherwise we need to apply all that whatever we have learned through reading and listening. And in order to do that, we need to have tremendous amount of guts and determination. Without grit and determination, people cannot write. Because when you ask somebody to say something, even say, for example, jocularly I would put it, say, if you want to say somebody, otherwise fall in love with someone, and you want to propose a girl or a man, immediately what you can say, if you go and say I love you, nobody will take it seriously. But if you write a letter and give it to that same person, that becomes very authentic. And that's why Francis Bacon exactly said, if you go see, writing maketh an exact man. And women also, let us not be what is that, gender bias. So please remember this thing: reading maketh a full man, right? Then again, conference a ready man, writing an exact man. So writing is the writing. Through writing, people can perish. Through writing, people can flourish, which means you can become prosperous also. How I say perish mean, if you write a mistake, full spelling mistake, otherwise grammar mistake, otherwise no flaw, you see flaw, see, with lots and lots of flaw. So suppose you draft a letter, otherwise draft a mail, otherwise even writing something, no, whether it is an essay, otherwise a journal paper, whatsoever, with mistake if you write, that shows your personality. People will definitely no think two or twice an umpty number of time before they get connected with you, otherwise they get to associate with you, which means the writing is something like a very 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 important thing in our life. Please remember this thing. Everybody who claims to be what do we call see, literate, means we need to, that is what distinguishes it. Literate means we need to write, that's what. So teaching job, especially, all the teachers will have to write. What to write as a teacher? Teachers will have to write teachers diary. First of all, teachers should have a plan. Teachers should understand the purpose of their living and existence, and what do they teach, why do they teach, and why do they teach, and what kind of teaching they should do, and what not to do, what to speak inside the classroom, what not to speak inside the classroom. Same way, what to write as a teacher, what not to write as a teacher. People should have the clarity. Let's say teachers, normally nowadays we find that teachers limit themselves to write only for Scopus paper, non-Scopus paper, UGC care journals like this. But I would strongly say we need to write for Scopus and non-Scopus papers, UGC care list, and Anna University Annexure 1 and 2. All these things people will have to write. In addition to whatever the academic needs are there, we have to go beyond to the cater to the needs of the public mass. Let's say you write a book on time management, you write a book on life skills, you write a book on something in general. It could be even your autobiography, how to become a best of the. See, we say no, they say no. Sell like hell, they say. Sell like heaven. You write a book on any topic of your choice that should cater to the needs of the general mass. Overnight, you will become a super duper rich. Otherwise, you will become popular, successful in your life. Because I would strongly recommend people will have to write. Those people, those who write, they are all the one who can claim to be, otherwise who can claim to be, let's say, literate. Those who do not write anything, they cease to claim, they cannot anymore claim to be a literate person. Why I say this thing? No, I would like to justify. Please remember one thing. Everybody knows that writing is a good thing, but do we do this writing? Let's say it begins with the diary. How many of us do honestly admit that we write a diary? Why should we write a diary? Because a diary is our textbook. We need to write diary. We need to have to-do list. We need to have a plan. We need to know the purpose, and we need to have the clarity. We need to have a vision and mission. And again, what is that we are going to do inside the classroom, outside the classroom? From the day begins, it is for the same 24 hours, whether you are a genius, otherwise not a genius, otherwise you are a pauper, otherwise a philanthropist, otherwise you are let's say the Fortune 500 companies, CEOs, CFOs. Nature is very neutral. It doesn't know. It doesn't give 1 hour extra for a genius, 1 hour less for a ordinary guy. So nature is impartial, and opportunities are one and the same. How much we are able to let's say augment the opportunities, otherwise encash the opportunities whichever is available. Because that's why the greatest of the greatest philosophers and saints, they say opportunities worldwide across the spectrum. Are we ready to snatch the opportunities, especially by writing? That's what I would say. Because one book will change our life, one idea will change our life, one seminar will change our life, one let's say one workshop will change our life, one faculty development will change our life, provided we stay focused on the game of learning and development. Any learning and development begins with writing, I would say. Listening first, listening. Then again, you need to think and ponder about whatever you have listened, whether the person, whatever he or she says is right, otherwise he's worth listening. You need to decipher whatever the person says. Whatever I am saying, it's all purely proposal. Do not think that I am, no, what is that? I am giving a recipe. Don't take it that way. To accept it or leave it, it's absolutely your discretion. You need not have to worry about whether I should pay heed to this person, and again, whatever he says strictly I should follow. Nothing like that. It's all absolutely a proposal. Why should people should write? That's what very, very essential. And slowly and gradually we will go to the rest of the writing parts. First, to begin with, let's say we need to have the habit of the writing. Say, for example, whether it is diary, it begins with the diary, I would say. The moment we wake up from the bed, diary writing is a very, very essential thing. This is what the Fortune 500 companies, otherwise the best of the bestest speakers, trainers, coaches, whether it is life coach, business coach, you name any sales coach, you name any person, otherwise you name any best of the best practitioners of this world. They do what they have their scheduling habit. First, journaling habit. Most important thing is that is nothing but writing, I would say. Writing a journal, writing a to-do list, writing a plan for ourselves is a must for everybody. So what to write, when to write, I have just given an insight, otherwise given an idea that people will have to write at least to-do list plan, and again no scheduling and all these things. And that's why people say plan your work, work your plan. Which planning is nothing but thinking through paper and pen. Please remember this thing: thinking through paper and pen. That is what is exactly writing. If you think, you keep thinking by not writing anything, it is utter waste of time and energy and our life, I would say. So what we need to do as a literate person, we need to have a paper and pen. That is what the people say: the pen is mightier than the sword, which means sword is, no, of course nobody would say it's mightier, but and people feel jittery about these swords. But you think in terms of pen, the pen can know, again let's say pen is mightier than even I would say even the kings and queens and the swords and even atom bombs, I would say. With pen and paper you can work wonders in this world. That is what with paper and pen means education. Education can do miracles in people's lives. Especially we need to think, and see, the moment we start reading and listening, you find people start thinking. We need to think to the better of the, otherwise best of the best things in this world. Because as I initially said, that our life is very very small and short. We don't have the time to know, uh, uh, go here and there doing no all unwanted things and all. We need to stay focused on the game of life. That's how we can grow. Let's say, why should we write? I would say any literate person who claims to be a literate person should have to see, will have to write. And especially teachers, no, I will have to write. Obviously, before I jump into this writing, I would like to listen to the audience. Who are all my audience? Let me do this audience analysis. Without knowing that, it will not be fine to go otherwise proceed further. Let me know, have some of the voices heard from this forum. Let's have the idea. And what is that you are expecting? Otherwise, what is that you feel should be right? So far, no, whatever I have thrown as a see, let's say as an idea, see, as an idea, otherwise a propose as a proposal. You have any difference of opinion? Otherwise, you want to add on to this. Otherwise, you want to. Is there any commission omission? You are most welcome to open up and speak. The forum is open. Please, yeah, you can have your say related to whatever I have said and spoken so far. Yeah, people feel free, and again you are most welcome, because you shouldn't be quiet, because you shouldn't be allowing me to speak like this. And I would love to hear from you. That's what. It's a communication. It's not. It shouldn't be one-way communication, I would say. I hope no, you agree or disagree. Please do use this chat box predominantly. And what you could see, what you could do is, you can whether this okay. This has been enabled. So please feel free to use this. Yeah, somebody, Wilson sir, would you like to say something? Wilson Jetty. Yeah. Hello. Please feel free. Would you like to say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Most welcome. Yeah.
Something went wrong.
Okay, that's okay. Technical glitches are there, part of our life and part of the game. Let us accept it and go. Yeah. Yes, please. That's okay. Then we will go. If no response is there, let us go ahead. Not necessarily that no, we need to wait. And at times it's no, it takes time for people to feel comfortable with the presenter. So it's obviously it's fine, okay with me. And let's go ahead with this writing. Why should we write? I said no strongly. It's my deepest belief that people, those who claim to be illiterate, are supposed to have a paper and pen with them and write something. That is how greatest of the greatest thinkers like Plato, Aristotle, and you say whether it is Napoleon Bonaparte, otherwise Hitler, Mussolini, you name any of the greatest leaders in the history, and again across the spectrum of this geography, I would say, irrespective of this, their creed, caste, and the nationality, you will find that people started reading and writing. Especially they started writing something. And again, the witness, no, we could see that that is what the greatest of the greatest work, as I said. let's say whether it is Tolkappiyam in Tamil, otherwise Tirumulas, Tirumandiram in Tamil, otherwise Tiruvarpa, Tirukural, Kambaramayana, whatsoever in Tamil you find the same epics, and again same goes with English, otherwise Greek epics, and whatever we have, whether it is in Sanskrit we have Ramayanam and Mahabharatam, in Tamil also it has been translated. All these things you see somebody's writing. That's what I would say. Somebody's, before writing, what goes in is thinking, how people think, because when you ask somebody to write and give something in paper, people will doubly cautious. They will become very aware. So in order to stay aware in our life, who we are, why we are on this planet Earth, what is the purpose of life, and why should we do this, why shouldn't we do this, this kind of introspection is very, very essential. This introspection leads us to become aware of what we are doing, why we are doing, how we are doing, to in order to know, in order to think about see ourselves, and it's something like have a personal space. We become more and more reflective. For that, this writing of the journal, otherwise to-do list, and going and sticking with the sticking to the plans, whatever we have done, and again scheduling things, scheduling the life, all these things will help. Let's say let us jump into this academic writing. Why should we write? Where is the demand? Otherwise, why should we write? As a scholar, research scholar, first know, people will have to read a lot. Whether you are writing a assessment, assignment paper, otherwise writing a examination, whether it is a continuous assessment test, 1 or 2, otherwise it is a final assessment test, we need to really read a lot. Without reading, we cannot do justice for writing. So it is obvious. By reading, we can eliminate the errors like spelling, grammar, again, even whatever, again, you see collocation and right order of words and right place, everything can be addressed purely by virtue of reading. So very, very important. Without reading, people cannot have the flair for writing. Please let me say it again. So reading is very, very essential. Read and read and read. Very, very, very essential. The more we read, the more we become acquainted with the beautiful and variety of beautiful stock of vocabulary and variety of styles in order to write. Whether you're writing a note, a memo, otherwise let's say you're writing a letter, email, otherwise let's say you're writing a journal. How we get acquainted with the journal writing? First, know what is that we do. Review of literature, very, very important. Review of literature is nothing but, review itself is nothing but reading. Please remember, let's say you are working on the latest most trending topics like machine learning, otherwise artificial intelligence, otherwise internet of things, and you say otherwise you say anything and everything will have to be read by the people. Don't ever think that English teachers, otherwise the teachers of other subjects, do not no need to have, otherwise do not find time to read and all. We cannot argue that thing. Arguably, everybody will have to acquire what is the most trending thing today, irrespective of our subject specialization and area of expertise. Please remember this thing. Those who catch the trend, otherwise trendy things at the earliest, will become phenomenally successful in their life. That is what now we say machine learning, artificial intelligence, internet of things, all these things, and AI. And again, you see now we talk about 3D printing. All these things are so very essential and important. Those who catch the trend, most trending thing, will be getting more benefited. The other people will follow. Those who catch the trends of trending topics and trending things, they will become the pioneers in those fields. Please remember this thing. And catching the trend, after that, becoming well acquainted with the most trending topics, so that it will enable us to understand whatever has been said and done in that particular area. Let's say, for example, you take for example English language teaching. Whoever has said what so far, what has been done and said in this English language teaching, one has to remember and read to remember and remember to read. And again, we have to have notes, and again we need to have let's say clarity of whatever has been said and done. This is what we call exactly review of literature. Literature means any stuff which is written. Not only written, I would say now movie is a literature. YouTube is a literature. And again, you say Instagram is a literature. Then again, ads or literature, and videos are literature. Please remember this thing. And television is a literature. And I would say every human being is a literature. Every species is a literature. Every inanimate and animate and inanimate things are called literature. So we need to have this clarity. From anywhere, anything can be compared and see comparison. And again, no comparison can be done. And through comparing and contrasting, we can have a better level of understanding in anything and everything, any chosen field of study. That's what my humble submission. Let's go to the next level of what is that writing, academic writing. Why should people write? And again, review of literature, I said, let's say, for example, you are working on, let's say, English for specific purposes. What people should do? People should go and go to the internet and download whatever has been said and done. With that, you can talk about who is the best of the best professor in this world on ESP. And again, what is that he or she does, otherwise he does say. And the more you understand this kind of updated otherwise knowledge and points and information, and again the knowledge, I would say cutting edge knowledge, cutting edge professors association and acquaintance, you are bound to grow. You bound to grow intellectually, as well as you are bound to grow rich in that particular field. And you can become you can fine tune and polish your expertise in the chosen field of study. Then again, you become a prominent person in that field, whether it is let's say whether it is digital platform or offline or online. Otherwise, you say any field of study. Let's say you talk about digital humanities, trending topic. Again, we talk about disability studies, very trending topic. And again, people talk about subaltern literature, very trendy. Postmodernism, trending. And again, you see, it's all something like old wine in a new bottle. Are we ready to do this old wine in a new bottle technique in your chosen field? That is what is all about writing. That is what is all about literature. Then that is literature review. That is what is all about getting to know the gap. What has been said and done, what is yet to be explored. What is not explored, you find out the research gap for writing further. That will become your point of focus, and you become a writer of the researcher. That is whatever your findings you present, then in the form of writing, then you become a wonderful, let's say, presenter in the form of writing. The more you read, the more you will find out what has been said and done in the chosen area of your specialization, otherwise the topic. So most important thing is we need to read the existing literature in that particular field, and we need to narrow down the area. So what is academic writing? You need to understand one thing. Let's say academic writing begins with let's say taking notes. You go to see, nobody is a genius, and again, nobody is not a genius. I would say everybody is a genius, I would say. Only thing is we live in the world of forgetfulness. That is what the root cause for all this chaos and confusion in oneself and in the society. Because we need to be that's what know thyself. The greatest of the greatest philosophers, they say know thyself. What does it mean exactly? We need to understand ourselves and know ourselves for better and better. Once, this is what you call self-mastery. What is our strength? What is our weakness? And what are all the opportunities before us? What are all the threats, otherwise challenges before us? One should be aware of things. For that, in order to aware of one's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat, we need to write about ourselves. What time we go to bed, what time we wake up, what is that we want to achieve, what are all our dreams and the long-term goals, short-term goals. And again, one has to think on one's feet and write these plans. Clarity is the hallmark of success, I would say. In order to write and be successful in academics, one has to know what is that exactly one is interested to let's say write. First, what is academic writing exactly? What is that people expect out of me? Whether we are working in a college, otherwise research institution like private universities, otherwise even IITs, NITs, whatsoever may be the thing. People, what is that I am paid for? why I am getting a paycheck. It is what is being expected out of me. People should have the clarity. So what for people hire in order to know, in order to write and publish. How a person can write and publish? One has to read a lot, get acquainted with whatever that particular field. That's why we people are called SMEs, which means subject matter specialist, which means we need to have a thorough understanding of the chosen field of study. That's where the idea comes in, the 10,000 hours. Let's say you want to specialize in the field of ESP, English for specific purposes or special purposes. You want to become successful in your, and we need to really master the area of the specialization. And again, we need to stay focused, and whatever has been said and done, we need to have thoroughly well. Just by reading, Brian Tracy says, you are a genius. You go to the library and read the entire library, entire books in the library without taking notes. You keep reading, it is of no use. So what is essential? We need to take notes while reading, and that is how these what is that we take as notes. That's what you call skimming and scanning. We skim the newspapers, otherwise we skim through the books and the passages in order to get the gist of it, and in order to go deep diving to, that's what, no, deep learning is something like, no, what is that? We need to have the clarity of whatever we read, and whatever we have read. So we need to have the what is that, whatever we read, we need to have the habit of taking down notes, because these notes will help us to grow further. That's what, no, people say imitation is the key. What is that we imitate? People, those who have written that, written some stuff, we read them, and we would like to know, make again rewriting, otherwise rereading, and especially writing. We want to duplicate somebody's writing. That is what exactly we do when it comes to, know, let's say, individualism, otherwise individuality. Let's say we are very much influenced, otherwise I am fond of, let's say, Shakespeare. Imagine this way. What I need to do, I need to have a thorough understanding of whatever has been said and done by Shakespeare, though it is 500 600 years old stuff. We need to have the clarity. That's how we become great in our particular field. We need to have the thorough mastery of the thing. So let's say, first and foremost thing, whatever we read, we need to have the habit of taking notes. What is that book? This will definitely help us in writing references in our what is that, academic writing. Please remember this thing, research writing. Yes. And this book has been library digital mode I am reading, one has to be very clear about this reference. That's what, particularly when it comes to a paper, otherwise a journal writing, otherwise a thesis writing, we need to be extremely cautious about what is that book, the stuff we have taken in our hands. So write the author's name, and again the year of publication, and again, if there are more number of authors, we need to use this et al. For two authors, three authors, more than two or three authors, we are using it all. Then let's say we need to have this kind of, publications, year of publication, and publisher's name, and again you press name, and again whether it is a journal, otherwise magazine, otherwise let's say about, if it is a journal, means volume number, everything has to the year of publication and the place of publication. and everything we need to have the clarity. Clarity is the hallmark. So first thing is, very very interesting thing is, what is that? Writing about what we are reading, from where that has been taken, and why we are reading need to, that also needs to be clear. Then again, secondly, the more we read, by taking down notes, maybe it is a kind of no, kind of an impediment, I would say, because it stops the flow of reading. Because the more you take down notes, it is no, it is likely to find it is a no fragmented kind of writing, and these fragments can be made as a phrase, again made as a clause, made as a sentence. Then again, the sentence could be made, sentences could be put together. It can be a small paragraph, big paragraph. Then again, let's say it could be an essay, it could be an essay, it could be an essay, it could be a, let's say it could be an assignment, it could be a report writing, it could be a project report writing, otherwise it could be a thesis, it could be, again no, let's say it could be a journal paper, it could be a magazine paper, it could be let's say another kind of publishings like a small novel or short story. Even you talk about, let's say, um, when it comes to what is that, it could be a, book which you are so very passionately having it in your mind and you want to publish it. All these things are nothing but proper way of thinking and putting all our thoughts and ideas in a coherent and cohesive way. That is what is all about writing. So please let us have this clarity. Then automatically, why should we write? Why should we write? You should have the question. You have not asked me the question. Why should we write? And somebody has raised the hand. Rupam Oja,
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
please, ma'am.
Actually, I want to ask you that, sir, which points it is means this is the most requirement we can say that while the writing of literature review in thesis, which point we should consider the most?
Could you please repeat your question, ma'am? I have then why?
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to ask that which particular points we should consider while writing the literature review for particular thesis.
Brilliant, brilliant, very good question, ma'am. First of all, Rupa, ma'am, I'm so
Thank
very
you, sir.
thankful for this very insightful question. So brilliant question. I would say, let's say, what is that you are working on, ma'am? Which area of field? Otherwise, which area you are writing?
Sir, actually, I
Otherwise, doing research.
yeah, I am in commerce department, and I
Very good,
do, yeah.
brilliant.
So please,
Hmm.
can you explain, sir?
Yeah, wonderful. Supposing you are, what is that in the commerce is a broad area. What is that you are working on in commerce?
In
What is that?
actually, my point, my field is accounts related with accounts means finance, sir.
Wonderful. Accounts, and again it is finance. Wonderful. You
Yeah.
see, ma'am, now broad area is commerce and accounts, and it is again narrowed down to finance. And again, finance also, what is the area you would like to work on? Finance also, you need to still go deep down to narrow down things. What is that in finance you would like to, whether finance accounting, let's say finance for, is it related to budgeting? Is it a finance of a
Uh,
company?
it is
Otherwise,
related with stock market.
stock market, brilliant.
Yeah.
Now you see, your you have to google in with the finance stock market journal on finance and stock market, papers on finance and stock market. If you see, you will get plenty of no what is that, stuff on google. And whatever is no is whatever is related to your area, as you said, no, finance and stock market thing, you could find whatever the related papers you take. Let's say for example, you have a paper which is related to your stock market stuff. What you need to do is, you need to jot down that particular thing and start writing first. No, start as I said, you take up the book and start in a word file, you start writing the reference first. Then you go for reading that stuff and take down notes and all. This is how you need to start doing it. And again, as you rightly said, you wanted to do a what is that review of literature means whatever has been said and done. Let's say people normally, any examiner, external examiner, otherwise internal examiner, otherwise even your guide, otherwise a DC member would love to know what has been said and done for the past 20 years in that particular field. In that particular field. 1 minute, please. Hello, I'm sorry for the interruption. Let's say review of literature means people normally expect what has been said and done in that particular finance field, otherwise stock market for the past 5 years and 10 years. Is there any journal, specific journal is there, and what are all the who is the expert in that particular field? And again, what has been said and done by the experts? Otherwise, who are all the people worked in this particular chosen a particular field, otherwise area, and you we need to know call out all the details. And again before what has been said and done, if you start reading and let's say 50 papers, you write a review paper on that, a review paper in that particular finance and stock market area. And again you feel fine while reviewing, otherwise writing a review paper itself, you will get to know what has been done by the other researchers, what has not been done and addressed by the other researchers. You see, no research is complete. Please do understand and let us acknowledge and remember this thing and understand this thing. No research is complete one. Normally, people when they start doing research, they leave so many spheres of unaddressed areas, because that's what the people say limitation. We say limitations of my study, and today also I would say limitation of my presentation. I am addressing this thing. Let's say what is writing, why should we write, and what could be written, and what is academic writing, what is being expected of us from in the field of academic writing, why should we, and how to get it published. This is what I'm saying. Maybe I might not know. I might be addressing certain things. I might not address certain things. Please remember this thing. That's what we call it a limitation for writing also. So we need to clearly see that people, those who do the research in that particular area of specialization, you will find that they leave the footprints of what is that further research, scope for further research. Otherwise, what has been addressed, what has been focused by them, what they've omitted to focus, otherwise what they have not touched upon, that you need to catch up. That is what the catch for further research. Maybe let's say finance for stock, you say stock exchange, and finance for companies, somebody could say some finance for multinational companies, and again finance for local small SMEs. I hope no, Rupa ma'am, you are with me. I hope I am addressing
Yes,
your
yes, I'm listening, sir. Yes, I'm
yeah.
there.
So this is how we need to have, but whatever has been said and done in that particular narrowed down area also, we need to be thoroughly focused and no read. We need to have read all the things said and done in that particular area. Let's say for the past 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. But these are all the things which will help us to have a lay a strong form a very very strong foundation for finding out the gap in the research area what we are trying to focus. And again, this research gap could be identified by reading a lot whatever has been said and done in that narrowed down area. Then again, and in the narrowed down area also, what is that you would like to focus? You cannot be staying unfocused, because you cannot have your focus a very wide focus. But what we need to do, we need to have a lesser kind of focus, because that's what people will see. Now we are living in the days of what is that super specialty and specialization. You see, we say English literature, then people say English language teaching and literature teaching, and again we say subaltern literature, and people also say, let's say other fields like let's say what is that, gender studies. People talk about, now we talk about disability studies and postmodernism, and again comparative literature like this. No, so many specializations are there. That's why I'm saying, what is that you would like to address, and what is your area for your interest, and focus on your interest, and cull out the data, and review the papers whatever has been said and done, and start writing the summary of summary of the papers, whatever you read. And again, for that, note taking and summarizing will help us. Without taking notes, you shouldn't be making an attempt to read books or papers, journals, newspaper also, I would say. Those who read newspapers by taking notes, they become IAS officer and civil servant. Those who read casually at the tea shop benches, and again, no, in the library also, they will become casual in their life. Their life also will, you will find that very casual, and they are goody goody people, but not very successful, so very successful. That's why I'm saying, let us have the paper and pen with us whenever we read. Even when speaking also, we need to have a paper and pen. What is that has been received, what goes well in my class, what doesn't go well in my class. We teachers need to have the teacher's journal all the time, then teacher's diary, I would say. That's what is very very important. And let's say, when it comes to no academic writing, what needs to be done is read and take down notes and identify the gap, what has been said, what has not been said. Based on that, identify the research gap, and start writing, start focusing on the thing, and consult your research supervisor. And based on the consultations, ideas and suggestions given by the research supervisor, you start focusing on this more and more, and try to attend, let's say, the professional development conferences, webinars, seminar, and again, let's say, workshops, faculty development programs, because there only you have the chance to meet the experts in your chosen field. And again, you will land upon somebody who is very interesting, very kind and helpful. And again, this way you will find that you will get, that's what networking is, the network. What is your network? Getting to know about the subject experts from, let's say, you are browsing social medias, like, you need to get associated with your subject matter expertise, and whoever is the expert in your field, because that also can be done through writing only. You need to write, let's say, you, as Rupam ma'am said, who is the Jambawan, otherwise who's the super duper what is that expert in that particular chosen field of commerce, and especially narrowing down to that particular area of finance and stock marketing. You will find somebody from any of the lead universities, top notch universities. You will find the expert. How you can get acquainted with that expert? You need to read their studies. Let's say you are a great fan of Amitabh Bachchan. How would you prove that you are a fan of Amitabh Bachchan? By watching his movies, watching the advertisement, and buying the products, otherwise the products endorsed by Amitabh Bachchan. That is how you go and tell him, Sarji, I am your great fan. You see, I have purchased this Nike shoe, otherwise particular brand, and again I have watched these movies 100 times, 10 times, 20 times. You say, then you will consider, oh, come on, I will give her, I will do an autograph for you. Do you get me what I'm saying? Same applies to the journal paper also. Anybody who is a novice will have to get acquainted with the expert, subject matter expertise of that expert of that particular chosen field, and will have to read his or her journal, otherwise books and authentic materials. Then write to that particular author, saying that I have read this book, and again I love the book, I love the way you are writing, and again, and I have understood this, and this I have not understood. Could you please help me out in getting it, no, the clarity? Then that particular author will show some interest in you. Okay, this guy has read that whatever stuff I have read. This is then let me think, because constantly you need to write to people, especially the papers you read and you have read and again reviewed. This is what exactly called literature review. And without reading, you cannot review anything. And without reading and understanding, comprehending things and the concept and what has been said, what has not, you have to read between lines. What has been said, what has not been said, and how you can make a thorough understanding of a particular paper, and how always you write That's what you see, H index, citations index. You see the thing, how people know, increase the citation index by getting to know the people and getting the citation done by the, how many people cite our paper. Supposing I am writing a research paper and releasing it, getting it published in a lead journal, and how many people use my paper and read my paper, and how many people just read it and leave it less, just like newspaper, and how many people really take notes and make a note of it and cite it in their journal paper and writing in their own paper, research paper. That is how my H index, otherwise citation index, citation score goes up. Otherwise, no point in publishing a paper where nobody reads it, nobody cites your paper, and again nobody is nobody knows that you have written a paper. No point in publishing this way. Please remember, that's why we need to take adequate care of what is that most trending thing. We can do research on any, you see, that is something like topic very new. Then you become the lead, otherwise a pioneer in that particular field. If you are working on the same stuff that has been said and done and overworked and overwritten, no point in claiming ourselves that we are doing a research and got a paper published and again got a PhD. What is it PhD is all about? Are we going to become poor, helpless and desperate, or we are going to become very prosperous, happy and delightful? It's all left to us, our discretion. Are we going to be prosperous, happy, and delighted? And see again, no. Otherwise, we are going to be, as no, Robert Kiyosaki rightly says, PhD means poor, helpless, and desperate. Are we going to be like that? It's all the discretion of ourselves. Please let us think on our feet, and again do justice to whatever we read, and we need to take down notes. Writing, no, is a phenomenal thing. Without writing, we cannot survive in the market. Every teacher will have to write what goes inside the classroom, because I would say don't teach anymore. You start doing research in the classroom. Classroom research is paper is better accepted than the people, those who read something from the library, and these are all theoretical papers. Nobody will accept it. And supposing you do a classroom research and what goes inside the classroom really well, and you are matching with that outside the outside classroom, what is happening in the market, otherwise in the academia, otherwise in the in the industry, you just know mix and match these two things, and come up with a beautiful paper, and instantaneously, because it is a novel idea, and you are merging the concept of what is there in the classroom and what is outside happening, then it is a concept, it will instantaneously click and your paper will be accepted. You need to have this clarity that whatever we do, it has to be. That's why people ask always, does it have a relevance, any social relevance? What is the scope for your study, and why, how do you justify it is a good paper, otherwise good PhD thesis, and is there any social relevance, and why you need to write this kind of stuff? People, we need to justify. So that's how whatever we write, it should go in a big way to help the society in by and large. That is how we become a very good researcher and become a good writer. For that, we need to read a lot and think a lot and take notes, and again summarizing the thing, and again stretching the paper, stretching it to a paper, an article, otherwise a journal paper, and otherwise a small project, mini project, otherwise a report, then again a project report, then again it could be even a thesis report for UG, PG and MPhil, then PhD report, and again after that getting it published as a book, otherwise even for a journal paper, everything and anything, otherwise even completely out of the box thinking. You write something like something in general topics, which will sell like hotcakes. Like, let's say you're writing a novel, you're writing a autobiography, you're writing a biography of let's say Modi's biography. You see, it was during this let's say book fair in 2019 book fair, I could see in Chennai completely Modi's books were there, and almost invariably all the stalls. That shows that for somebody who has got the trendy things, Modi is a hotcake. No, somebody who wrote a book on Modi, it got sold like hotcakes. Please remember this thing. We need to understand. That's why we need to get acquainted with what is happening inside the market, inside the out. See the market and what is happening in the outside world. and how I can know spruce up, otherwise understand what I can write, what I shouldn't, what I can write, what I could write, what I shouldn't be writing, and all these things will help us a lot. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I hope I have shared my views and opinions on this academic writing, and I stop my presentation here. Any questions and clarity you would like to have, please know I am there, and you can know. Yes, ask me straight away. Thank you all for this patient listening, and again, your wonderful time. And again, I had a great time with you all. Thank you all. Come on. Any questions? Any clarification you would like to have? Please feel free, and I will also leave my Umesh Kumar sir.
Good.
Please. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Happy
First of
evening,
all,
sir.
I would
Tell me,
like
sir.
to thank you for such an insightful lecture on academic writing. I've got, I want just clarification
Sir, your
on
voice
academic
is
writing.
dwindling, sir. Could you please hold your mic closer to your mouth so that I will have it exactly?
Okay, sir. Right,
Please,
sir.
please. Sorry
Is it
for that.
improved, sir?
Yeah, now better, sir.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
As far academic writing is concerned,
Mm,
it has features like it is structured, it is evidenced,
mm.
and critical, precise, balanced,
Absolutely.
objective, formal, etc. When a
Absolutely.
novice writer starts
Mm.
writing, the
Brilliant.
strict rules like plagiarism, using critical thinking,
Mm.
preserving the author's own voice in writing,
Good.
proving your argument by
Mm.
citing evidences, and
Absolutely.
churning of the literature in the
Amazing.
field and
Well,
coming out with the findings.
wonderful.
All this is really a tough task. Sir, may you suggest some easy steps
I
for
would.
novice writers? How can they learn this academic writing,
Brilliant.
and how
Brilliant
can
question.
they achieve the objective of becoming a good academic writer?
Brilliant, sir.
Sir.
Very, very, very interesting question. Very befitting question. Thank you so much, first of all, for asking me this insightful and need of the hour question. Thank you, Umesh Kumar Gupta, sir. See, now I would say, let us see how we were all born and how we learned to walk. Or we see now, is there anybody who can say without having a fall, we have learned the art of walking? Do we have a fall now? Perhaps if we fall also, we look around and see nobody has watched me. Okay, let me wake up and go. That is how the feeling is. So it is absolutely brilliantly, I would say, it is through virtue of practice, 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 practice. That's what. Until and unless we master whatever you have said and done. See, let us whether say people should have the habit of taking notes and again start writing. And again, no, we have plenty of models. It's not that wheel has not been invented. Wheel has been invented by so many years back. So no need to worry about the flaws we, otherwise mistakes we make, otherwise the flaws we do while coming. See, the more we write, the more we repeatedly write for journal after journal paper, and again we find that we fine tune and polish our way of writing. And again, what is that being expected by a particular journal will be different from the other journal. So according to the needs, we cater to the needs of the journal paper. So definitely one can know, learn the art of writing, and it is by virtue of practicing. And again, that's what now we say. Let's say I am writing a paper. What I should do? I should trust my fellow colleagues, and I need to give the paper to somebody and get the opinion of my colleagues. And that is what is exactly missing, because we doubt our own colleagues, our own counterparts, because we don't trust, we don't work on, see, we don't run, otherwise operate on trust. Everybody wants to be separate like an isolated island. And again, no, we want to publish and prosper. It's absolutely impossible. It's a teamwork. Let's say whatever I write, I need to show it to my colleagues and peers, and we need to get the opinion. That is what exactly is happening when it comes to peer reviews. And bad reviews will come. You will find that one paper is sent, and you will find it after 1.5 years. You will say your paper is rejected. First thing they will do is, after 1 year you will get the first information, your paper is rejected. What is that? It shows that for getting this feedback, it takes time. Mean our paper is not a novel one, and we have not taken the efforts to write well, and we have not done the peer review with our it could be our peers, colleagues, it could be our teachers, senior colleagues, then again our departmental colleagues. These are all the things they will add, as you rightly said. See whether it is reviewing and again fine tuning, polishing, and making it as a better paper, whether it is grammar, grammatical errors are there, spelling errors are there, otherwise coherence and cohesion is missing, otherwise no something novel idea is missing, otherwise conclusion is not good, summary is not good. Everything will be said and done by the our known contacts whom we trust. From that we will get lots and lots of insight. Then after getting this filtration and modifying, rewriting, writing, reviewing, rewriting, then you will find the best paper will come. Then if we start applying, otherwise no it's communicating that paper, we will get a quick reply from the publisher whomsoever it is, whether it is let's say Elsevier paper or Thomson and Reuters, you say UGC care journal, otherwise a local journal, otherwise any journal. A novice will have to have the passion, as well as he should be passionate enough to let's say wait and review, write, rewrite, review, get the opinion of people, and again review, rewrite the paper, review the paper, again rewrite the paper umpteen number of times. It is no, it goes with the no example of Edison. When Edison was interviewed by the that is let's say this press people, Edison answered no beautifully, categorically said, I have found out how a thing doesn't work 1,008 times. I have never failed in order to make ourselves familiar with see, in order to achieve this kind of success in writing, whether it is journal paper, thesis, otherwise a project, otherwise even any small report, otherwise a summary, otherwise let's say it's something like a preface, otherwise let's say small synopsis, we need to have a tremendous amount of practice. Lot goes inside this thing. That's what I would say. Practice, practice, practice. Practice is the key for anything. Let's say 10,000 hours. That's why 10,000 hours percolates to 1 year, 6 months, and some 56 days or something, which means 18 months to 20 months. People can cross the 10,000 hours, and you will find that 10,000 hours of writing will make a phenomenal novice becoming a phenomenal and perfect otherwise very good expert writer. That's what I would say. Practice, let the people practice it for say 1.5 years or 2 years. That's why they have given time for 3 years. 3 years of what? 3 years to become a doctoral fellow, otherwise a doctorate. And please no, this is, I hope I have at least addressed one particular area of your question. Hope
Thank you,
Umesh
sir.
sir, Umesh Kumar Gupta sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else who would like to ask this? Tong Somi, please. I would love to hear from you. Tong Somi, sir. Yeah, please. May I have your point? Otherwise, comment. Otherwise, question whatsoever. Please feel free. Because I could see that one hand was raised. Okay. Any other observation, comments, and clarification you would like to have? Otherwise, you want to say? I am here.
Yeah.
And
Can you
yes,
hear
please.
me?
Yeah, I
just
could. I could.
Yeah, hi. Just wondering, right, because I'm a new student, so my writing is not really up to par yet. So you're saying keep on reading. So you're saying like reading articles and journals and things like that. Would that really help in doing the writing of the thesis itself? Hello?
Tong, no, I would say, see, first and foremost thing is we need to read. No other go and take down notes. You see, that is how it has been built in the system of our education itself. Reading, after reading, reading comprehension, whatever we have comprehended, otherwise deciphered from a particular small paragraph, we write down the notes and clarifying question. That's what. Supposing you read a one sentence, what would be the question? How many questions you can how many questions you can frame out of that particular sentence. This is what exactly we call it research question when it comes to research, reading research papers. How many questions you can make out of the research paper, and again whatever has been written. So making question, that's what question and answer, that is what you call comprehension when it comes to a paragraph. Do you get me what I'm saying, madam? Then again,
Yes.
after
Yeah.
this, then from there we have understood, and from small paragraph you have moved to writing, reading an essay, otherwise reading a text, and from that again textual answers and questions. You see the system. Let us understand let us go to the roots. We have lost the roots, and we have lost the foundation, and the foundation is very shaky, and we have not understood the basics, and we don't practice the basics, and we would like to build a skyscraper. Is it possible, madam? That is what is exactly happens most of the people's case. That's why people struggle, and people cut a sorry figure. The people get dejected and rejected most of the time. So what is to be done? We need to go to the roots and strengthen the roots, and lay a strong foundation. That's why that's how we become successful, by sticking to the roots, and again staying on the game for a long time. I hope I have answered your question, madam. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank
Thank you.
you.
You are from which country? You are from which?
Uh,
You are from where,
I
ma'am?
am from Malaysia.
From
I'm from Malaysia.
Malaysia. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
Yes.
Joyful Malaysia. Thank you. Yeah. So very happy
Thank
to
you.
connect with you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Keep it up. Yeah. All the very best for this thing. Uh, yeah. Any other observation and question, please? I'll be doubly happy and delighted to connect. Charger. Connect charger. Yes, if there are no questions, I take leave. And thank you so much for Joyce and Satya sir for this wonderful opportunity. And we are no, I love to connect with um, this forum, and it's a wonderful attempt. And let this forum shine, and no, all your endeavors become successful. And with that, I stop here. And again, thank you so much for this very very wonderful and interesting opportunity. Thank you all, and I salute, and I congratulate all the participants for sharing your valuable time with me, and listening to me. Thank you all. Let us stay connected, and let us go forward. Any help is required, please ping me, and stay connected with me, and I'll be of some use and service to you all. Thank you. With that, let me stop here, and I'm handing over the session to the this um, this organizers. Over to you all. Thank you, the organizers.